from Revive Fitness and Nutrition, coming to you with your Q&A. So for those of you who are on Instagram who posted a question today, I will be showing your question and posting your answer, but not revealing your identity. Don't worry, it's always anonymous. I do have a doggo underneath the desk, so things might go awry again like it did on Friday night. We'll see what happens. I am in my office because the signal for Instagram is really tricky in the gym. It seems to be connecting and in and out, in and out. So I thought I'll come in my office and I'll do it live from the office. So we shall crack on. Now I didn't think about this in terms of getting you to post your questions on Instagram about, oh, I need to quickly get them off Instagram. So I scribbled them down. So anyone knows my handwriting, you know I'm kind of like cryptic. It's not the best handwriting. So I shall endeavor to read my own handwriting so I can answer your questions. All right, let's go. So I'm doing all the workouts, but not losing the weight. So this is a case of where you try to out-train a bad diet. Obviously, these Q&As, I can't have a conversation with you, so I'm making some assumptions. So what I'm assuming here is that you are increasing your training. So you might be doing more workouts at the gym, even at home, however you're doing your workouts, or maybe getting more steps up and you're getting frustrated because you're not seeing changes in your weight on the scales, or be it in the fit of your clothes. And this goes back to that kind of mindset of, you might not quite be ready to change your nutrition, your meals, right? You might be like a bit stubborn around it, going, I want to keep eating what I want to eat. So I'll just going to up my training. So surely, calories in, calories out. If I output more, then I should be losing weight. But again, we need to really look into that. So it needs to look at, well, actually, how many calories are you eating? Because often we eat more than we actually realize, because we can have a lot of high calorific food. And I'm not saying they're highly processed foods, but in general, foods can be highly calorific, like nuts, for example. And you think you're eating healthier than you actually are. And that's where the frustration can come from, because you think, well, I've kind of cut back on things and I'm doing more exercise, but I'm not seeing results. What's going on? So what I would say is, don't add more on. I sometimes see some clients I have who are like, oh, shall I do another workout, Julie? I'll do another. I'm like, no. Especially clients who train with me only, just because I'm not ready to change the diet and the nutrition, and I accept that. When I started out, I was purely fitness. I wasn't looking at my diet, my nutrition, the quality of what I was eating. I go to gym on the Friday night and then pop into Marx's for their like Indian takeaway meal deals and blowing all the calories plus some. So I absolutely get it. Everyone's on a different journey, a different timeline. And for me, it certainly started off with fitness and then nutrition. And then after that, the kind of life coaching element of things. So certainly everyone's on a different pathway. So what I would say is, don't add more exercise on, and look at what you're doing around food. It will make a difference. If you're not in that place yet where you're not ready to kind of look at your nutrition habits for whatever reason, then adding more exercise on is probably going to derail you more. So look at how you're training in terms of how many strength training versus cardio. You want to aim for minimum 3 strength training, 2 cardio trainings a week. And are those sessions training you? So are you getting out of breath? If you're doing a session with weights, are you lifting heavy weights? And I'm not saying super heavy, but they're challenging you. You've still got technique, for example. You're not losing your technique. That was a clean press, by the way. But at the same time, you're not just firing the weight for the ceiling because it's too light, because you're too scared to go that bit heavier. And if you're doing it in the gym, then speak to someone. If you're doing it at home, then pop me a note and we can discuss how we can get you set up at home. All right. So it's that thing about, it depends on what you're doing around fitness, but it's not a go-to. I always say it's 80-20. Nutrition's 80%, fitness is a 20. Okay. So, but again, like I say, I appreciate you might not be in that place yet to look at nutrition. So instead, look at the quality of your workouts, and it doesn't have to be spending hours in the gym. And with my VIP guys, I do 2 half-hour sessions a week. For the guys who do training programs with me, again, the training programs they get to do alone in the gym or at home are 30 minutes. So you don't need to be in the gym forever. It's about the quality of the workout you're doing, and that whole kind of thing of smart working. So you don't have to work more and more, but be doing more and more workouts and doing more gym more and more. It's about what you're doing within your training sessions too. So no straightforward answer there, but basically, ultimately, don't keep adding on more training. If you're ready to look at your nutrition, then I do have a 14-day challenge coming up. So shout out, drop me a note. And that will be covering nutrition and training as well. So yeah, there you go. All right, next up. Okay, I told you I wouldn't be able to read my handwriting. I'm like, what does that say? Okay. Should I try fasting? I'll take these off as a go actually, because I'll be like, what? Should I try fasting? Well, it's entirely up to you. I never really like to put labels on things, and I think fasting's a label, right? So we all fast. So if you think about it, whenever you eat your last meal, your last snack, till when you wake up the next day and have breakfast, you're fasting, right? Everyone fasts overnight. It's just a difference of how long you fast for and what does that look like. So I think we're in a modern world where everyone likes to put labels on everything, and eating styles is one of those things. And I think for that reason, it depends on what your goals and motivations are. Now, some people find it very useful to say, right, I'm not having anything after 8 p.m. at night. And truthfully, more often than not, we don't eat anything of high quality after 8 p.m. at night. It tends to be the snacks that come out. The nuts, the crisps, the mindless eating in front of the telly. So some people find it really beneficial not to have anything after 8 p.m. And then you'd be breaking your fast with your breakfast the next day. Some people do 16 hours, 24 hours fasting, and some more. And what would say anything over 24 hours, do seek medical supervision as you're doing that. And some people do fasting to find out about food allergens, but again, you do that alongside a doctor. So would I recommend it, or basically that you should try it? I would say what I'd like to have a conversation about, what's your motivation, what is it you're trying to achieve. So I always think when we're looking for a solution, what is it you're trying to achieve from that? And with fasting as well, like I say, if you're just trying to go right after 8 p.m, I'm not eating, cool, because you tend to eat snacks, not a big one, go ahead, absolutely do it. And if you're like, oh well, I want to fast from 8 p.m. till lunchtime, then I'm a big advocate for having breakfast and making sure you're getting protein and you fuel your body in the morning, because it can create hunger. Ultimately, fasting is all about reducing the window of which you eat food. And by reducing the window, for some people that works, for other people it doesn't. I do tend to find people might do fasting for a while, maybe 1.5, 2 years, and then fall off because it doesn't fit the lifestyle, it doesn't fit in with holidays, family life, whatever it may be. So it's looking at your overall life and going, is fasting right for me? And I can see that it's saying that Instagram's connection is poor again. So coming in here made no difference whatsoever. And it's thank you, Instagram, for having a rubbish connection. But yeah, we're back. So yeah, really it is about what's your purpose, what you're trying to get out of fasting, how would it fit with your lifestyle, and does it still allow you to enjoy life, contribute to family life, whatever it may be, for it to work for you long term. And again, it's what your overall aims are. I'm all about long-term weight loss, healthy weight loss. And for me, fasting doesn't tend to be a long-term solution. But if you want to give it a go, by all means, please do. All right, next up, why can't I stop eating? Now, this, I seen actually a person talk about this yesterday in the forum, and she was talking about, I'm so greedy, I can't stop eating. And it's never about greed, okay? The reason you can't stop eating is because your body's craving something else. Typically, it's because you're not eating enough high quality foods. And what I mean by that is protein. I'm always going to go on about the protein. That's my dog sighing about it. Always going on about protein, right? But protein is your filler, is the thing that fuels your body craves it, and it doesn't know what foods contain protein, so it'll tell you to keep eating until it gets a fix of protein. Then alongside protein is your veg and your fruit, your fiber, right? Fiber is filling, it's slow digestion, so it's that whole thing, it'll keep you fuller for longer. So you really want to be looking at what's your protein in the breakfast, lunch and dinner, what's your fruit and veg at breakfast, lunch and dinner. They're the key things, because if you find yourself that you can't stop eating, it tends to be you need more protein and you need more fruit and veg in your diet. Now, if you're like, I've got those things, Julie, and it's still not helping, I just can't stop eating, then please go see a doctor. And depending on what your age or family history, it could be thyroid issues. So I would go and check for the doctor too, in case there's anything amiss there. There are certain medical conditions that can cause people to continuously eat and never feel full. And thyroid is one of those key ones. So if that is the case and you feel like you're on point with your protein, your fruit and veg, then please go speak to your doctor. All right, next one is in the same, it's different, but it's similar answer because it's around what stops bloating. So with bloating, it tends to be food kind of getting stuck in the digestive tract. Now, there's a couple of things that cause bloating. One of the key things I notice in myself is salt. So if I eat a meal out at a restaurant, it's like immediate salt bloat because I don't add salt to my food. And then when I go out and eat, and obviously there's loads of salt and food in the restaurants, I get like what I call a salt bloat, just that uncomfortable feeling. I had a client who's vegan, and she was going out and eating in restaurants, and she found the same. Like, we're monitoring her weight daily so we can see the fluctuations in her weight. And when she went out and ate a meal, like her bloating and discomfort would be unreal. And then we could track it back to actually when she was eating out, the increase in salt was causing her salt bloat. So water, right? Water is your key there. It's going to happen if you don't eat, add salt to your food like myself. So water as you're eating the meal, water afterwards, and just moving your body, and it will pass. Other reasons for bloating is not enough fiber. So if you're not getting enough fruit and veg in, then again, it can slow down your digestive system. So look at salt and getting fiber in. Okay, so yes, you can reduce salt at home. If you've got highly processed meals, again, they're going to have salt in, or salty snacks, and you don't eat a lot of salt, then you'll notice a difference. So tune in, connect with your body. And another thing is making sure you have enough fruit and veg. One of my Healthy Well women committed to doing that this week because she was on bloating, and she'd done a group commitment that she's going to have more fruit and veg this week. Okay, do you do meal plans? Yes, I do. So I do meal plans, but what I also do is work individually. So I'm not cookie cutter, here's a plan, one size fits all. I work with people one-to-one. So that means if a meal plan is right for you, we'll have a discussion, then I'll give you a meal plan. If a meal plan isn't right for you, then we will do macros, which is your calories and your protein and your carbs, tracking those. So it really depends on how a client wants to work. I can also do, because I work with some people with eating disorders, I can also do plans that have no calories on them, so you can't see what it is, but you obviously got control because you're measuring your food, you're making your meals, but to take away the side of the calories and that obsessive around counting. Okay, so there are different ways that I work with clients around nutrition, like say meal plans and macros, but again, it's very much tailored to you, the food you like, because I believe that you should be able to enjoy food as you lose weight. It shouldn't be a punishment. And then once we get to the point where you're losing weight, my thing is to kind of wean you off the meal plan or wean you off the macros, because you get used to the visual of what a plate of food looks like for you and what feels good in your body, what fuels you, and how full you feel after things you have, if you're still hungry, and you just get in tune with your body patterns, which allows you then to go to what some people label as intuitive eating. So you're not following the calories, you're not following the meal plan, and it's that thing that the tools I give you are for life. So you shouldn't have to work with me forever, because that's not what it's about. It's about me giving you tools so that you can work for life around eating well, knowing, being connected with your body and what's going on there. So yes, it's the short answer to that one. How quickly can I get results? So I don't do fad diets, okay? So or weight loss injections, it's all free in whole foods. So to answer your question based on like eating whole foods and moving your body, a safe way of doing it is basically 1 to 2 pounds a week. That is a safe weight loss limit, 1 to 2 pounds. Now at the start you will lose weight quicker, and then that'll taper off, and there'll be weeks where you feel like if you jump on the scale you don't lose anything, but obviously there's more factors to it just than scale weight. So scale weight is one measurement. You've also got body tape measurements, the feel of your clothes, your energy, your brain fog. There's lots of different factors that come into it. So how quickly can you get results? Well, depending on what you're talking about, imagine it's weight, but if I talk about the change in energy and feeling you've got much more energy, most of my clients get that within a week. And they also will initially lose some weight in the first week, of course, but then depending on where they're at and how they're following a plan and what their goals look like, where it really depends. But your safe limit is 1 to 2 pounds a week. If you're looking to, the question, quickly lose weight, if it's for a holiday or a wedding, then yes, certainly you can get off between 2 and 8 pounds in 2 weeks. If that's something you want to do, then by all means, drop me a note and you can come and join my 14-day challenge that's coming up, where we will look at losing between 2 and 8 pounds in 14 days through fitness in eating whole foods. Some people do pop in and use that for like weddings or holidays, but then if you want to work with me longer term, then I'll show you how to do that on the long term. Okay, hope that answers the question. Like, which one have I not answered? Can I lose weight whilst just walking? Absolutely. It's one, again, it goes back to that thing about depending on what you're eating, and by walking, if you're trying to hit the 10,000 steps, then absolutely you can, depending on what food you're fueling your body with, and also your current activity levels. So if you're someone at the moment who's doing maybe, I don't know, let's say 1,200 steps a day, and then you're going to go up that to 10,000, then that increased activity will result in an energy deficiency. Now, if you are then eating the same energy at taking that back on board, then the answer is no. But if you are looking at, okay, I'm just going to increase my output because I don't really move much. Maybe you're kind of home based and you're not really moving, and you think I'm only really like, if you look at like a fitness tracker and you can see you're only doing 1,200 steps and you want to increase it, then what I would say, rather than going all in and trying to hit the 10K steps, which is normally what happens, look at progressing that an extra 100 steps every day, build on an extra 100 steps. But any movement's good. It's going to be beneficial for your body overall, not just for the weight, but also in terms of joint health, in terms of your mental health too. It'll help you make better choices when you move your body, because you feel the difference, like the heaviness of when you've had something negative in your body and then you feel like you're dragging your body around more. It always makes a workout harder. So it's that whole thing about tuning into how the fitness makes you feel, how the extra steps make you feel, and the benefits of that too. But absolutely, any kind of increase in movement is going to help with weight. But again, it depends if you then start supplementing it. So by taking an example, if you end up walking past the cake shop and popping in and getting a cake because you went and done extra steps, if you go to the supermarket and go, I'll just get myself a wee chocolate marshmallow treat because, you know, I've done extra steps. So it really is about making sure that if you increase your steps, you're not also increasing the calories to reward yourself with food in that way. Okay, next up. And some people swear by it. Some fitness trainers will say to you, like, yes, work out, but also make sure you get your 10,000 steps every day. For me, 10,000 steps is, and my clients, is massively time consuming. If you're in a busy job where you are sitting all day and you've got a family life, getting 10,000 steps in can be stressful and really hard to achieve. So I don't set that goal for my clients. I just don't. Instead, we work out with weights, which is obviously you're not going to get many steps when you're working out with weights, but definitely we can get muscle tone, muscle definition, and muscle is hungry. So with muscles, they're going to be burning calories more because muscles like calories. So there's definitely different ways. So if you're struggling for time and you feel the pressure, you want to do something, don't think you have to do 10,000 steps. If you are looking to lose weight or do something in movement, your body, then strength training will definitely help with that. And remember, cardio too, because cardio is good for your heart muscle. All right, I think I've got one more question. Just check my ticks. I don't know if I can actually read my writing on this. Something about weight. I can't actually read my writing on that one, so I'll come back on that one next week. Yeah, there's one question I can't actually read my writing. I think this is weight or something. I'm not sure. I can't remember what it is. So apologies to the person who submitted that question. I can't read my writing. I'll come back on it next week. But guys, that's your questions answered for this week. Hashtag replay if you are on the replay. Any questions that you have that haven't been covered today, then drop in DMs and pop the question. And then I might actually make it Wednesday Q&A. So I'll make it a Q&A every Wednesday. So you can come with your questions in between that and I'll note them down, and I promise to answer them all and write them a bit better so I can actually read them next week. All right, team, go enjoy your evening, wherever it's getting some steps in indoors because it is miserable outside. Unless you've got a dog, you would go out with the dog, right? But yeah, get some steps in, get some movements in, have a chill. And if you find yourself snacking, because we're now gone, just over almost 20 past 8. If you find yourself this time you start to snack, especially on a cold, rainy night, then just set yourself a little target. Go, right, I've had my dinner. I'm good. I don't need anything. And if you're really craving something, have a piece of fruit. And because if you don't eat the fruit, then you're not really hungry. Right? So you're just bored, a bit fed up, seeking a bit of comfort. So there's my other bonus tip for you. All right, team, appreciate you. And as I said throughout that, I do have a 14-day challenge coming up very soon. If you want to take part in that, drop me a note. It is advertised at the moment on my Healthy Well Women free Facebook group, but not anywhere else. So I've got about 6 people in it so far.